Let's look at the uses of linear equation and equations. So to begin with, we have linear equation. Linear equation helps in framing a mathematical statement about the relationship between two quantities or phenomena. So to understand this, all this definition and stuff, let's start with unit conversion. So you know what is a unit, right? It's a way of talking about how much it is. With the numbers, the unit helps you in talking about what kind of measurement are we doing, right? So one of the cases to measure temperature. So either you can measure with Celsius or Fahrenheit. If you measure in either of this, we can convert to the other one by using this formula, and this formula turns out to be a linear equation. So it's establishing a relationship between Celsius and Fahrenheit. If you measure length in inches, we can convert to centimeter, and if it's measured in centimeter, we can convert to inches just by dividing or multiplying with 2.54. So here we're converting centimeter to inches, and here from inches to centimeter. So it's used in many physics formulas. I just listed one, but there are quite a few formulas. So one of the most easiest one is, which I think you're familiar with, this final velocity is equal to initial velocity plus acceleration into time. So if I have an object moving already at a particular velocity, if we apply force, so it will further increase its velocity, and that increase or change in velocity can be calculated with the help of this particular formula. Chemists use this to look into how fast a reaction can happen. Helps in deciding about the catalyst, to what kind of catalyst they need to use, or maybe some kind of reduce in the reaction is required. So again, some other thing can be used. Opposite of catalyst, I guess. It helps virologists talk about how fast virus spreads. So we are looking at a person coughing, or different ways of carrying things around, right? So he infects, say, 3 people. They themselves they in turn infect others. So as a group, how many people they infect, so on and so forth. This study also can be done with the help of linear equation. Then we are looking at GDP growth. So economists help in predicting what kind of jobs or what kind of spending a person should have, or the country should have for the future. Helps in planning, right? GDP growth and gross domestic product, right? GDP stands for that. So that prediction is useful for the country. So many people invest looking at the GDP of a country. So foreign investment comes with the help of prediction of GDP. So we have World Bank, I guess, predicting, or I think there is one more private body as well. 2008 crisis happened because of wrong prediction by all of these people, actually. Anyways, that's a different story altogether. So next is artificial intelligence, right? It's a big thing over here, the linear equations. So I have one scatter diagram. Yeah, I forgot the name of this, actually. Now I remembered. Scatter diagram. So these are scatter diagrams. They talk about the relationship between two quantities. So here the things are directly proportional. Here the things are inversely proportional. Here there is no relation. Okay. So this prediction, this is just 2-dimension. When we talk about 3-dimension, n dimension, that is done through artificial intelligence calculation. It's just a code. It's not nothing fancy what I'm showing. Of course, there are fancier things I'm not that aware of those. I have not worked on such projects, but I have a decent knowledge of AI. So you can clearly see scatter diagrams, which in turn linear equation is used to predict things. So it can predict with. I mean, you might feel that this is quite simple. Actually, it's more complicated when we talk about many dimensions. Okay, we'll understand this in time. Everyone has to learn this, or most of the people have to learn this, whatever field you go. Okay, at least the basic math and basic coding and interpretation is altogether other different thing. There too, you need to understand the graph, and again math also. If you ask me honestly, should you learn the math part of it? Well, you needn't memorize it, but at least have some knowledge about what is the math behind whatever you're working on. It's not that I like maths and I'm telling you guys that. No, it's practical. For better understanding, it's always good to have the background knowledge. I've seen that. I mean, it's from my experience. You become a better interpreter, you become a better teacher. Again, teacher is not that one who teaches. A teacher can be one who can discuss with others about what is happening. So the teaching part should or might pop up whenever you are presenting someone something. So that happens pretty much every point of time in your life if you're into any kind of business, or you know you are part of any big business team and so on and so forth. So the teaching part or discussion part automatically comes up. So anyways, you will understand in time, but yeah, it's not too hard. It will take time. If you have a good teacher, then it's easy to understand all of this. Maybe in time I'll try to do it as well. Matlab, put my understanding as a video format, right? Okay. So this was all linear equations. Now let's talk about linear equations in pair. I meant to say, right? So we are looking at pair or more than pair of linear equation. So what does that help in? Taking decision, given limited resource, the best possible decision. So there are many practical scenarios wherein you have to business scenarios or other scenarios, right? Talking about government decisions, if not natural resource being used, best possible use of such natural resource, or the funding, right? NGOs can take decision. It's not only about business all the time. It's like literally everything else also. The word business should not be taken always as amount, money. So I would use the word business also in handling any kind of executive decision or group decision. You have plenty of things and you have to smartly use it. So please understand, it's not always about money, right? That is very important for you guys to understand. Money is up to a certain extent. Beyond that point, we have to start looking at other things, especially with how the world is turning out. It's very important for us to remain humane, right? So things like, I've given example, stat in games. People use stat in games to pick up players, to manage a team, like who will play or so on and so forth. Any kind of game. So one of the best place to understand this or see this being used is it's a real life story. I'm talking about a Hollywood movie called as Moneyball. So you don't see a lot of math over there, but you get to see that math was used to make a team very strong, and you have a look. Let me not spoil that. So yeah, these are the uses of linear equation and pair of linear equations.